So, let's talk about your accent. Yeah, that thing you hate about yourself every time you open your mouth in English. You hear your voice and suddenly you're like, ugh, why do I sound like that? You imagine people judging you, thinking you're not smart, not good enough, not native enough. Like there's some committee of pronunciation gods sitting there with scorecards. Here's the truth no one told you. Nobody cares. Seriously. The person you're talking to, they're not waiting for you to sound like a BBC newsreader. They're just hoping to understand what you're saying so they can order their coffee or finish a conversation without both of you dying from awkward silence. But here you are, killing yourself over every little sound, thinking if you don't hit that perfect R or T, you've failed. Newsflash, you haven't. You're just human. And your accent? It's proof that you've learned another language, not a crime scene. You've been tricked into believing that speaking English means losing your identity. That to be good at English, you need to erase where you're from, how you sound, and become some kind of robot voice. But that's not English. That's self-sabotage. Real English, the kind that works in the messy, loud, beautiful world we live in, doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be clear. It needs to be real. And most of all, it needs to be yours. So stop applying for the BBC in your head. You're not here to impress. You're here to connect. And your voice, just the way it is enough. Let me tell you about a guy I knew. Let's call him Dan. Dan had been learning English for over 10 years. Yeah, 10. You'd think after a decade the guy would be confident, right? Nope. Dan had this thing. Every time he had to speak English, he'd get quiet. Not because he didn't know the words. Oh no, Dan knew all the words. He could write essays, pass tests, explain grammar rules better than some teachers. But speaking, especially in front of people who were native speakers, forget it. He'd shut down. One day, Dan had an interview for a job at an international company, his dream job, and he was ready. He'd practiced, rehearsed answers, even recorded himself and played it back 100 times. But the moment he walked into that room, sat down, and the interviewer said, "Nice to meet you, Dan," it was over. He smiled, nodded, and when he opened his mouth, nothing made sense. It wasn't that he didn't know what to say. It was that he hated how he sounded. He was too busy thinking, oh no, they're going to notice my accent, they're going to think I'm stupid, they're going to laugh inside. And so instead of focusing on what he wanted to say, Dan focused on not sounding like himself. And guess what? He didn't get the job. Now, was it because of his accent? No, it was because he didn't own it. The truth is, the interviewers weren't expecting perfect English. They just wanted to understand him, see his ideas, his energy, but all they saw was someone trying to hide. Someone who thought his voice wasn't good enough. That's what really went wrong. And Dan isn't the only one. I've seen it 100 times. People thinking their accent is a problem, when in fact, it's the fear of their accent that's killing their chances. Your voice shakes, not because your English is bad, but because you think it should sound like someone else's. You listen to yourself and think this isn't right. But let me ask you, right for who? Right for what? Do you think every English speaker sounds the same? They don't. Go listen to someone from Liverpool, then someone from Texas, then someone from India. All different, all English. So why are you trying so hard to erase yours? I remember another time a student of mine was giving a presentation. She had a strong accent. Yeah, you could tell she wasn't from around here. But she spoke with so much energy, so much clarity, you couldn't help but listen. Afterwards, someone told her, "I loved your talk. Your accent is beautiful." She looked shocked, like she'd just heard something impossible. But that's the thing. People aren't always judging you. Sometimes they're just listening. And if you're real, if you're clear, they respect that. Your accent tells a story. It says where you've been, what you've learned, what you've overcome. Don't bury that. Use it. Be proud of it. The only time your accent is a problem is when it stops you from speaking at all. That's the real danger. Silence. Self-doubt. Those are your enemies, not your voice. Look, I get it. It's easy to say just be confident. Confidence doesn't come in a bottle. But here's what I know. Confidence grows when you stop fighting yourself. When you stop trying to sound like someone else and start focusing on what you're saying, not how you're saying it. People will hear the difference. And more importantly, you'll feel the difference. One day, you'll speak and you won't care if it's perfect. You'll care that you were heard, that you said what you meant, that you didn't hide. Dan, he didn't give up. He took another interview months later, same accent, but this time, no pretending. He spoke, he joked, he didn't freeze, and yeah, he got the job, because he stopped waiting for approval and gave himself permission to be enough. And that's what you need. Not a new accent, just a new way of thinking. Let's break this down because I know what's going on in your head. If I don't sound like a native speaker, they won't take me seriously. Right? You've probably said that in your mind more times than you've actually spoken English out loud. It's like this little voice that keeps telling you you're not ready, not good enough, not right. But here's the truth. That voice is lying to you. It's not trying to help. It's trying to protect you. From what? Embarrassment? Mistakes? Welcome to real life. You don't get better by hiding. You get better by doing. Let's talk about this obsession with sounding native. Who even decided that's the goal? Do you want to live in London? Move to LA? Join the BBC? No? Then why are you killing yourself trying to sound like someone else? There's this weird idea that native means better. But let me tell you something uncomfortable. There are native speakers who are terrible communicators. Yeah, they speak English since birth, but they can't explain anything. They mumble. They make no sense sometimes. And guess what? People still understand them because they keep talking. They don't stop to think, oh no, I said that wrong. They just roll with it. Meanwhile, you're out here pausing every sentence, analyzing every word, thinking if your T was soft enough or your R was too strong. Let it go. Clarity beats perfection. Every single time. And about people judging you, yeah, they might notice your accent. So what? They might notice your shoes too, or the way you hold your phone. Are you going to stop walking because someone doesn't like your sneakers? No. So why stop talking because someone might think your English isn't polished? You're not speaking for them. You're speaking for you. To express. To connect. Not to win some invisible accent contest. The people who matter, the ones worth your time, care about your message, not your accent. The ones who don't, let them judge. Let them miss out. Now let's talk about the real problem. Your own standards. You've set this bar for yourself so high, you can't even reach it. You think, I've been learning English for so long, I should be better. Should according to who? Instagram? That one friend who seems to speak perfectly? Please. Everyone's journey is different. You don't see their behind the scenes. You don't know how many times they messed up or how much they still doubt themselves. All you see is the highlight reel, and you're comparing it to your bloopers. Stop. You are not behind. You are just in your own lane, moving at your own pace, and the only person you need to be better than is the version of you from yesterday. Let's get even more real. Your learning habits might be the problem too. Harsh? Maybe. But I'm not here to sugarcoat. You memorize words like they're Pokemon cards, but never use them in a real sentence. You study grammar like it's a secret code, but never actually speak. You read English articles, but never say them out loud. And then you wonder why you still feel stuck. Newsflash. Knowing is not the same as doing. You know how to swim by reading a book? No. You get in the water. You mess up. You swallow some. You learn. Same with English. You've been collecting knowledge like trophies, but your mouth is still on vacation. Time to wake it up. It's not about how many words you know. It's about how many you use. Every day, out loud. Messy, awkward, but alive. Because English isn't a statue to admire. It's a tool. It's for building, for sharing, for living. And tools are meant to get dirty. So next time you think, I need to sound perfect, remember, perfect doesn't speak. Perfect waits. Perfect watches. But real people, they talk, they stumble, they laugh, and they grow. Be real. That's how you win. So let's talk about what you've been feeding your brain. Yeah, I'm looking at you, binge watching pronunciation tutorials at 2 a.m., thinking this is the secret. This is what's going to make you finally sound right. Spoiler alert, it's not. You don't need another video on how to curl your tongue properly to say the perfect R. You don't need a 30-day challenge to fake a British accent. What you need is a serious reality check. The way you're learning English, it's not helping. It's just making you feel like you're never enough. You know what I mean? You've got that app that gives you a gold star every time you guess the right word in a multiple choice quiz. Congrats, you're a champion at tapping buttons. But when someone asks, what do you do for fun? You freeze. Why? Because you've trained yourself to play games, not to talk. Or you're that person who watches English shows but with subtitles in your language. Yeah, I see you. You're not learning. You're reading. And not even in English. Then you wonder why you can't understand native speakers when they talk fast. It's because you've never actually listened. You've just read with a soundtrack. Real talk. You've been over-preparing for a performance that never comes. You think if you just study a little more, just get one more grammar rule down, just fix this one sound in your accent, then you'll be ready to speak. But you never are. Because the problem isn't your English. The problem is you're scared. Scared to mess up. Scared to look stupid. Scared to be human. But guess what? You're already human. You already mess up. In your own language, too. You forget words, you say the wrong thing, and life goes on. So why does English have to be different? Let me tell you what actually works. Not the pretty stuff. Not the easy stuff. The real stuff. Speaking. Every day. Out loud. To yourself, to your dog, to your plant, to a wall, I don't care. Just speak. You want to fix your accent? Start by using it. You want to sound more natural? Say the words over and over until they don't feel like strangers in your mouth. You want to feel more confident? Stop hiding. Start trying. Start failing. Start laughing at yourself instead of judging. And here's the kicker. You don't even have to do it for hours. 1 sentence a day. That's it. 1. But say it like you mean it. Say it like your voice matters. Because it does. And while you're at it, stop worshiping people on YouTube who sound like they were born in London. Start listening to people who sound like you. People who are out there speaking English with all kinds of accents, all kinds of mistakes, and still making it work. Because they're not waiting for perfect. They're living in the mess and growing. You want an accent tip? Fine. Here's one. Focus on being clear, not clever. Hit your words. Make them clean. Make them honest. Forget about sounding like someone else. Just make sure people can hear you, understand you, and feel you. That's what makes you good at English. Not whether you can say schedule the American way or the British way. Nobody cares. So next time you're about to open your mouth and that little voice says, wait, they'll notice your accent, you tell it, yeah, they will. And they'll also notice that I showed up, that I spoke, that I didn't run away. Because you're not here to be invisible. You're here to be heard. And your accent? It's not a wall. It's a bridge. Use it. Stop chasing perfect. Start being present. Start now. So you've heard all this before, right? Just speak more. Don't worry about your accent. And you nod, maybe even feel a little fired up for 5 minutes. But then, what? Nothing. You go back to your usual routine, thinking about speaking English more than actually doing it. Well, not today. Today, we're going to break that cycle. Because talking about confidence doesn't give you confidence. Taking action does. So here's how we're going to fix this. First things first, record your voice. Yeah, I know. You hate it. Nobody likes the sound of their own voice at first. You hear it and think, is that really me? Do I really sound like that? Yes, you do. And guess what? So does everyone else. You're not special. Everyone cringes, but you have to get over it. You have to make friends with your voice, with your accent, with the way you speak. Because if you're scared to even listen to yourself, how are you supposed to let other people hear you? So take your phone, hit record, and just talk about anything. Your day, your breakfast, your dreams, your cat. 1 minute. No scripts, no filters, no fake accents. Just talk. And then, and this is the hard part, listen to it. Not to judge, just to notice. Notice where you're clear, where you mumble, where you pause too long because you're thinking too much. That's step 1. Now, do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. Because confidence isn't a one-time deal. It's repetition. It's practice. It's saying, okay, that wasn't perfect, but I'm still here. That's how you win. Next, let's talk shadowing. Yeah, that thing where you listen to someone speaking English and try to copy them like a parrot on a mission. It sounds silly, but it works. Not because you're trying to steal their accent, but because you're training your mouth, your ears, your brain to work together. Pick a video. Short, simple, real. Not some news anchor reading a script, but a person talking like people do. Maybe it's a YouTube vlog, a movie scene, a TikTok. Play a sentence. Pause. Say it out loud. Match their rhythm, their energy. Not perfectly, just enough to feel it. Then the next sentence, and the next. Every day. It's like going to the gym, but for your speaking muscles. You want to sound natural? Practice being natural. And here's a fun one. Talk to yourself. Yeah, I said it. Out loud. You already do it in your head, might as well make it real. Walking around your room, cooking, cleaning, whatever, just narrate your life in English. I'm gonna make coffee now. Where did I put my cup? Oh, there it is. Silly? Maybe. Effective? Definitely. Because you're using English in real time, about your real life. And that's how you stop seeing English as this scary foreign thing and start seeing it as just yours. Now let's turn up the heat a bit. Find someone to talk to. No, not your mirror. A real person. Online, in person, whatever works. Join a language exchange app, comment on a forum, message a friend who's also learning. Doesn't have to be deep. Hey, how was your day? What are you watching lately? Keep it simple. Keep it going. And if you mess up, good. That means you're trying. That means you're alive. Last thing, track it. Write it down. Not just what you did, but how you felt. Today I said 3 sentences in English and didn't explode. That's progress. Today I shadowed a video and actually enjoyed it. That's a win. Because small wins stack up. And when you look back after a week, a month, you'll see how far you've come. And you'll want more. So no more waiting, no more wishing. Your accent is not a problem. Your silence is. Break it. 1 word at a time. Out loud. Right now. So here's the deal. Your accent? It's fine. Really. The only thing that's not fine is you hiding behind it like it's some kind of excuse to stay quiet. You've been telling yourself this story, that you're not ready, not good enough, not native enough. But guess what? English doesn't belong to the natives. It belongs to everyone who dares to use it, including you. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You just need to open your mouth and speak. Because all this waiting, it's getting you nowhere. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to be understood. You're here to connect, to share, to live. And you can't do that if you're too busy hating your own voice. Let me make it simple. Stop chasing someone else's voice. Start owning yours. Loud, proud, even if it shakes. Because that's how you get stronger. That's how you stop being scared. Not by waiting for the fear to go away, but by speaking through it. Every day you stay silent, you lose a chance to grow. Every day you speak, you take that chance back. So the next time you feel like your accent is holding you back, remember, it's not. You are. And you can change that right now. Say something. Anything. Out loud. Messy, real, and yours. Because English doesn't need you to sound like them. It needs you to sound like you. And that, my friend, is more than enough.